Hi guys, here's a thought experiment for you from Bolton, England. If you married a woman and then she told you 4 or 5 years down the line that her ex-boyfriend had made her have the dog lick her cunt, would you remain married to that woman, or would you divorce her because you don't want to eat out to the same dog bowl? Would it matter that the dog wasn't a purebred? It was quite a large dog. Does size matter? What do you think? Give me an idea. Cheers. Keep up the good work. By the way, I look after paedophiles. It's my job. Bye.
Oh,
I don't get this.
Him
What?
too, dude.
He's a pedophile caretaker?
He's a wrangler, pedophile wrangler.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like a pedophile keeper.
I bet you they do a good job of it over there too. They do a shitty job of it here in the United States, at least in California.
Don't they implant them with tags and like have CCTV cameras like outside on them at all times?
Well, who was that
like
girl?
Big Brother over there.
Who was that girl who recently was found? You know, she'd been kept in the backyard for 20 years and she had kids and everything. That blonde chick. What was her name? Lacey? Tracy?
Dugard. JC Dugard.
Because we can't keep track of our fucking pedos.
Yeah, we don't. We don't keep track of our sex offenders. I mean, he kept her for 20 years. And
right.
people would
and
even
he was already on probation and from coming out of jail for being a sex offender. And the only reason we didn't know is because that was in the next state over. Yeah, we didn't keep track of him.
And people, I mean, they sent like social workers over to the house and they'd be like, "All right, everything's cool. I'm gone." Even though she was living in this like makeshift prison cabin in the backyard
with their children
with their children
fathered by the guy. You know, fuck.
So this guy married a woman. And then found out after the fact, I wonder how long after, that she had oral sex with a dog.
Well, see, it's not going to surprise anybody that we discussed this concept. You put it on the ideas board. We shuffled it around, put some Post-its here and there around it with arrows.
Mm-hmm.
But you told me she had oral sex with a dog with the previous boyfriend. I thought you meant she blew the dog.
No, the dog licked her. But the boyfriend made her.
That's quite different.
No, the boyfriend it's still a sex act with an animal.
It's quite different. One really bothers me, the other doesn't.
I think both bother me. I don't know if it bothered me enough to divorce. Here's my issue on it. I guess this is almost more of a my 2 cents thing, isn't it? Than a thought experiment?
Sort of.
Because what's he asking?
Asking what would you do is not really an experiment.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's a gray area between my 2 cents and thought experiment. But if I met a woman and I remember, okay, I'm going to give you a little story back in Dee's past here. I was in college.
Is there a Wheeler involved?
Actually, yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. Her ex-boyfriend was named Wheeler. But no, I met this girl. I remember I met this girl who worked at the bagel store while I worked at the mailboxes, etc. in Chicago. And she was pretty cute, a little older than me. I think
she worked at the bagel store. You worked at the hot dog factory. Let's just make this a good metaphorical story.
Okay, I worked at the hot dog factory, and it was called the Wiener Schnitzel. And she worked at the bagel store, the bagel shop.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, she had graduated from school. I don't know already. I think I was like a sophomore or something like that. And anyway, we had sex. Woman. Hanging out. We'd been hanging out for a couple months, and we had sex, and we're just kind of, you know how like you're smoking a cigarette, you're laying there relaxing after having sexual intercourse.
Rip a big fart, don't care anymore.
When you start having conversation, just casual conversation about stuff. So she was like, "So how many people, the highest number of people you've had sex with?" And I was like, 1. I don't know. I'm like,
at a time, or at that point you'd only fucked one other person?
No, I'm not saying how many people I've had at one time simultaneously. How many people have you had sex with? And I mean, I was like, I don't know, 19 or something. So I was like, 1. I was just like, what about you? Thinking maybe she's had like a menage a trois or something. She's like, 16. And I was like, what the fuck? Like just shocked. Like what? I was like, what was the clam to ham ratio on this? And she was like, I don't know, like maybe 4 guys, 12 girls. Which isn't that bad. But anyway, at first I was really freaked out about it, but then I thought about it. I thought, who am I to judge someone on their past sexual experiences?
She lied about the number of dudes, right?
I bet you she lied about the number of people. I bet you she was probably There's probably like 30 people there. But anyway.
and like 20 of them were guys. 25.
As long as she's been tested, you know, her sexual past is her sexual past. It's not, who am I to pass judgment?
She's been tested. She's D. Simon Blessed.
Exactly. That is my motto, Wackerly. That's my motto. How do you feel about this?
Your story or the dog dick?
Oh, my story's irrelevant. Your story, the dog dick.
I don't mind that. I mean, it's fucked up, and I'm going to be like, wow, your past relationship was fucked and freaky and weird, and it's not really cool, but I'm going to make fun of you for it forever. But if the dog licked your pussy, I don't give a shit.
Okay, what if she sucked the Doberman's cock?
That I have a problem with.
You would be
sucking red lipstick dog dick. I mean, that's like you're in a donkey show at that point.
Okay,
if she got fucked by the dog, dog penis penetration, that would also bother me.
So you wouldn't be able to.
If the dog's licking her vagina, I don't.
Okay,
care.
but let's say she looked like Scarlett Johansson. She's really into Mystery Science Theater, 3000 or whatever, and she's a cool person to spend time with. But you found out, yeah, she did suck a Doberman's cock. Is the relationship done at that point?
Oh man!
Would you guys go to couples therapy?
I would require some heavy payback, and no sexual act would be verboten to me.
Oh, so then
I'd
you could do.
I'm putting it up your ass. No, I don't do that. You suck the dog's cock. You do everything.
I got an all access pass to your body, okay? Because you had a Doberman's cock in your mouth.
Lick my asshole. I don't like to lick asshole. Oh, you suck a dog's cock, but you're not going to lick my asshole. Come on.
I wonder what this Limey ended up doing. Probably something like that.
Sounds like he's not too thrilled.
No,
and remember, his wife, or did it happen to him? Or are we just accepting that? He's saying like,
oh, this had to have. This is like someone calling up being like, so this friend of mine that I know, Wheeler, ended up
this guy I know, Wheeler from the bar.
He got married to this woman, and it turns out that she sucked a Doberman's cock.
He doesn't like it. From his tone, he does not. He can't abide by the fact that a dog licked his woman's pussy. You know what I think? You want to know why? I bet you it's because of his friendship, his friend circle. I bet you they won't let him forget that. Because he probably made the mistake of telling one guy. Now everybody knows. I would make fun of you if it was between us. Would you just be doing dog noises like every time my girlfriend was around? Yeah, I would. Yeah. All right, that's good to know. I'm not telling you anything. Like every time a dog came around, I'd be like, "Hey, Mrs. or Miss Simon or whatever you call your girlfriend at the moment. Like, that's a cute dog, don't you think? You just want to kiss his face." I call her cute. I call her Ho. Okay, just hey Ho. Yeah. You better get your Ho in line. You better grab your Ho. Here comes a German Shepherd. Hold her back. All right, here's this. I hope we helped you out there, Limey. I don't know. You're in a dilly of a pickle there. Quite a quandary. I'd say don't listen to your friends. Just had her pussy licked by a dog. Dog didn't think it was doing anything wrong. She probably had a little bit of fun. She was probably really intoxicated. I'd say let it go. Here's a second thought experiment we got here, which actually is kind of a time travel thought experiment. What's up, Dean Lance? It's the Sodomizer. I have a thought experiment for you guys, and I think it's better than the eating trash versus eating semen that I came up with about a month ago. I was wondering who you would rather party with, 1980s Charlie Sheen or 1980s Robert Downey Jr., and why would you want to party with the one that you choose? Take it easy. Whoa. Ooh. This is like a fine titration experiment. We're down to like splitting the atom at this point, kind of. Yeah, I know, because these both come from the same mold. I don't really know. Some of the best experiments are at this fine level of detail, though. I have to say, this is a tough call to make here, because both those guys lived a very reckless, dissolute lifestyle throughout the 80s. I think Robert Downey kind of had his ups and downs with rehab, and now it's kind of, he probably partakes every now and then, but with moderation. Let me just point out, emphasize, we're talking about 1980s Sheen and Downey. 80s Downey. Right, 80s Downey was insane. 80s Sheen was also insane. Not as publicly as insane as Downey, though. Downey Jr., didn't he wake up in like a Beverly Hills, not even a mansion.
It was
but
a
like
little girl's
suburban
bedroom.
house, in a little girl's bed.
Yeah,
like,
no,
he
he
didn't
was
even
like-
know the family.
He thought it was his bed. He was that fucked up. I've never, ever been anywhere near that fucked up.
He got the good drug. He got the coke that you can do all night long and like you don't like pass out. You just keep going.
But the thing is with Downey, I bet you Downey, though, first of all, I don't know, he seems a little bent to me, so I never know who exactly he was partying with back then. But,
Bent as in bender, is that what you're saying?
yeah, he doesn't come across as a little
Could
bit
be.
bent.
Well, yeah, he's not. You never hear him. You hear him like being with starlets, but you never hear of him being in a relationship.
They're probably
Maybe he's just
besties.
quiet,
I don't
or
know.
Maybe he is a bumder.
Maybe, or maybe whatever. He might have had a bent phase or something. Anyway, I bet you, like, at that time, he probably hung out with, like, you know, like Molly Ringwald, who are like the famous starlets of that time, who I don't think
You know,
necessarily.
everybody who was in the Breakfast Club: Ali Sheedy, Molly Ringwald.
I don't think he was having crazy sex parties. I think he was having insane drug parties, probably hanging out with, like high-profile celebrities. But I don't think it was like insane sex parties, like hot tub, you know, tons of blow, going around, you're snorting off a girl's ass. Whereas Charlie Sheen, I mean, we found out about all this now, because now it became public knowledge, but think of how many years. If someone doesn't just all of a sudden reach the age of 44 and start partying with prostitutes, or however old he is.
Yeah,
I
Charlie
bet you-
Sheen. He has maybe not as quality of drugs, but he has a. He's gonna. If you're partying with him, there's gonna be a lot of drugs, and you're gonna be on the train to Skanktown 24/7.
You know, Charlie Sheen, though, comes from Hollywood royalty, though. He's an Estevez.
True.
So that means he's growing up, you know, just lived his life just with anything, a silver spoon, anything he wants. He probably gets the most amazing drugs. He
Yeah,
probably gets,
true.
you know, his dad, he probably has, with Emilio, they probably all get together, get the best hookers in L.A. Probably call up Heidi
And-
Fleiss. Didn't he get busted?
He was one of the first celebrities to get busted with the Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. I think Charlie Sheen's story is, you know, growing up, famous, Hollywood royalty, part of the Brat Pack, had his pick of all the sort of the classy, respectable gash, you know, Jennifer Jason Leigh, all that crowd that we were discussing before. Mm-hmm. And I think he got sick. He got burnt out on it.
Got
And he
sick
said,
of the
"You know what?
A-listers.
Yeah, I think I just want to do drugs and hang around dumb sluts and porn stars and prostitutes. Like that, I just want to fuck them. I'm not interested in like a real relationship. I guess somehow he ended up with Denise Richards and had some kids. He sowed his oats, but then he went back to it.
You know, I think that guy's always lived this insane party lifestyle. I bet you now, it's probably not nearly as insane as it was in the 80s. I bet you he's settled down
he's
a
just
bit.
old. He can't. Well,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
have to when
So-
you get older. He doesn't even have any teeth anymore.
In answer to this guy's question, if I had to go back in time and hang out with either Charlie Sheen or Robert Downey, it would be the Sheen. I'd be partying with the Sheenus.
The Sheen machine.
The Sheen machine.
Yeah.
I mean, those
agree.
major league years. Think of that. The years that major league.
Here's a good addition to the question.
Hot
though.
shots.
What if you have to hang out with him like nonstop for like 6 months? I don't know if I could do it. Then I might choose Downey Jr. Because you know Downey Jr. is going to go to rehab a couple times. You'll have a little bit of break here and there. He probably takes a break once in a while. But Sheen, I just think goes and like after 6 months, it would be like torture.
Well, I think you're taking creative license here and modifying this thought experiment. But if we're
another
gonna
level.
go there, yeah, no, that's a lot of drug usage. You know how like after you've been partying on like a 4-day bender, you know, it's like
Yes, I do
binge
know
drinking and doing drugs. I get to the point where I have to stop. I can't do it any longer. I mean, and I bet you like Sheen never stops. I bet you it gets to the
Never
point where you
stops.
want to kill him. You know, it's like a very nerve-wracking experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still say it. I mean, we also don't know how long you're going to party with them. Maybe it's just one weekend of partying. That's what I'm thinking.
Back in the 80s, I'm my age now, or maybe a little younger.
Let's say
But
30.
I'm not like my age. I'm not my age in the 80s, right? I'm
You're
not, like,
30. You're
15.
30 years old. You get to go back
30.
in time, party with one of those two guys.
For a long weekend, like President's Day weekend.
Yeah.
I'm picking Sheen. I'm picking Sheen all the way.
All right, I'm picking Sheen too.